All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are breaking down once again Brown's rookie tackle in his first career start, Dawand Jones against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously not a great night in the end for the Cleveland Browns, but I tell you what, Jones really impressed us jumping off the page in his first start in the NFL. Got a lot of great cutups for you guys. As always, if you appreciate this content, leave us a like, give us a comment in the comment section below with any feedback you may have, or if there's another player you want us to break down. But without further ado, let's jump into the film. All right, we're going to open up today with a running play. There you go. You see Dawand Jones again. There he is at right tackle coming right at you. The offense is right, our left. And the Browns are opening up here in terms of this cut up with sort of a standard kind of outside inside zone concept. This almost looks like an outside zone with almost a design cutback, how Nick Chubb played this again. Tough injury against these Pittsburgh Steelers the other night, but up front, it was pretty well blocked, especially from the rookie. But again, we're just going to get his zone scheme, everybody working the gap to the right. Tight end working up to the backside linebacker. But the key block, if this is going to be a cutback, has to be cutting off this guy right here, who I'm going to almost call him a 4-eye technique. Either that or he's a very wide 3 technique. 3 technique would be the outside shoulder of the guy with the guard. A 4-eye would be a 4 inside eye of the tackle. But regardless, the job for Jones here is to cut him off and give the running back an angle to cut back. Let's see how Jones does. Right there. Look at that. I tell you what, let me back that up again. That is absolutely outstanding. It almost looks like a design cutback, or Chubb is just forced to cut back because they get some penetration right here. Linebacker shows in his face, but regardless, it works out being a cutback. And it's all because of Jones. Not only does he reach him and cut him off, he actually drives him back a little bit. He gets him completely reached. This was the one question mark with Jones. Does he have the athletic ability, the ability to move his feet enough to make blocks like this? There's not a lot of tackles, frankly, in the league as it currently sits, guys who are great veterans, great athletes, who can cut off a 4-eye technique and basically reach him like this. And Jones gets it done. Creates this massive cutback hole for Nick Chubb. I mean, I tell you what, this guy's a pretty good pass blocker, as we're going to come to see, but with backside cutoffs like that, this Browns running game, even though Nick Chubb, again, unfortunately hurt, they're going to have a lot of success. Because I freeze frame it right there. Again, they've got guys on linebackers. That's not great there by the center, but they got a body on a body. But the backside is cut off. This is a huge seam for the running back. Nick Chubb takes advantage of it. I tell you what, this running game for the Cleveland Browns is going to stay really good, even with Dawand Jones filling in. He had a really nice game against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Nick. And Larry Ogunjobi is no slouch. This is a guy who's been a proven decent player, solid NFL player throughout his career for the Steelers. And Nick, I just want to make the statement here. I think any running back, Jerome Ford could have done that. Whoever, the Kareem Hunt can do that. Whoever is going to be here for the Browns can do that. I don't think it needs to be Nick Chubb, because when you have guys run blocking like this, you're going to be successful. So this is a big, big plus for a guy like Dawand Jones to be able to make these blocks. Because wouldn't you say any running back could make a positive run through that hole?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And the more I look at it, it looks definitely more designed, the way they don't even block number 34 here. I don't think this is a bust. I think this is sort of a design scheme. But even more so, that puts a lot more pressure on Jones, and he gets the job done against a really good veteran player like you alluded to. Like you said, regardless of who's playing running back, that is a big hole, right? That's a really nice play for the Cleveland Browns offense, and it's all because of Dawand Jones. All right, switching up with some pass protection. Again, you see Dawand Jones there again, the mammoth man right there at right tackle, one-on-one in this situation against number 90 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For those of you who have been living under the rock, that guy's name is TJ Watt. He is pretty good at football. He is one of the better defensive players, in fact, of all the game. But if you watch Jones against him, you would think Watt is a scrub. Let's check how Jones handles him here. Gets out in space, long arm him, completely, totally negated. This is unbelievable. The Pittsburgh Steelers literally are so excited right now. The coaches on the sideline saying, we got our guy one-on-one on the rookie. TJ Watt's going to have a field day. Not even remotely close. He's absolutely dominated by Dawand Jones. This is an incredible performance. And look, we got a couple other reps to show, but this was basically 99% of the night with Watt against Jones. Plays like this. Gets out in space, long arms him, good solid base. TJ Watt has nowhere to go. Just completely and totally negated. He may be one of the better natural pass blockers I've ever seen, certainly at this point in his career. The ability to use his size, his hands, solid base against a great player, phenomenal stuff from Dawand Jones. And again, TJ Watt, all-pro, defensive player of the year kind of guy. I mean, this guy's a special player, but you wouldn't know it looking at this. Great job by Dawand Jones.
Yeah, Nick, there's a couple points I want to bring up about this play. One, we see Wyatt Teller, a strong right guard, go up against Larry Ogunjobi. Can't handle him quite as well as Dawand Jones could. Ogunjobi makes the play there, just showing you how quality of an opponent this is. This is a lethal Steelers defense. And then we see Jones handle TJ Watt. And this is going to be key going forward. The Bengals, high tier pass rushers, you got like Hendricks. Ravens, high tier pass rushers. They got a plethora of them. They got Clowney, they got Ojabo. There's a lot of guys Oweh. So Jones, twice a year, he's going up against a lot of really good pass rushers. And it just shows if he can handle Watt, he can handle just about anybody. And this just boons success for this young man's career, wouldn't you say, Nick?
Oh, absolutely. And let's go right into another one. Again, like I said, that wasn't just a flash in the plan. Again, similar situation here. You got TJ Watt one-on-one on Dawand Jones right there. Look at what he does. Look how he handles this. So calm, steady, gets a little chip help, completely drives him up the field. No chance. You got quarterback struggling back there, misses the throw, did have some pressure in his face. Again, like you said, Ogunjobi having a really nice day. This is a good Steelers defense. They got players. But if you look at Dawand Jones versus TJ Watt, you would think Dawand Jones is the all-pro and TJ Watt's the rookie, right? If you look at this rep, I mean, this is just absolutely domination. And I want to make one thing very clear here about chips, because people say, well, he got some chip from the running back. As a guy who's been in this situation, at least in college, being a pass protecting offensive tackle, getting a chip can sometimes screw up your timing so bad it can even make it easier for defensive linemen, depending on how good the chip is. A chip like this, which is not really anything special, can actually screw up the timing, right? It'll slow down TJ Watt a beat. You'll get a beat deeper in your set. It could open up the inside. Not so with Dawand Jones. Stays calm, gets his hands. Look how he extends his arms there. Look, I just want to, right there. I mean, that's almost perfect. He has total control of one of the best defensive players in the game. Completely drives him up the field. No chance to get to Watson. Again, another great rep for Dawand Jones against TJ Watt.
Yeah, and again, like you alluded to earlier, people worried this guy, he's got the size, but does he have the athleticism? If you can beat TJ Watt off the edge like that, you've got the athleticism to keep high-level players in there. Once again, if Deshaun Watson cleans up his play, if Teller can clean up his play and handle a guy like Ogunjobi, we'd hope that he would be able to handle. This is going to be a really successful team, but they got to clean a lot of this stuff up. Everyone's got to learn from a guy like Dawand Jones. You know, this is the way that you block these high-tier players, wouldn't you say?
Well, maybe not necessarily learning from them because they all have their own style, but I will say, I guarantee you 77, like you said, Wyatt Teller coming into this game, I bet part of his focus may have been on, okay, how is Jones going to handle TJ Watt? But now they're going to look at this film and all these guys are going to be like, Jones is going to be fine. I got to worry about myself now. And again, just that little ease of comfort for the quarterback, for the rest of the offensive linemen, for the running backs, for the coaches, will allow everyone some peace of mind as they try and clean up their own playing as well. All right, a little bit later in the game, the Cleveland Browns are obviously backed up in this situation. As you can see Dawand Jones, I'll highlight him there. Although I don't know how much I need to highlight him, how massive this dude is. But the Browns are basically running kind of a power concept. You've got the tight end who's going to kick out. You've got the tight end who's going to insert for the safety, that box player right there. You've got the guard blocking down. You've got the tackle anchoring down technique, securing the B gap and working back to that defensive lineman. You've got the tight end doing a similar deal, securing the gap and blocking out. You've got the backside guard pulling and wrapping for the linebacker, the play side linebacker, pull come right there. You've got the right guard inserting for number 50 right there. That means the key block with all these X's and O's, let me clear it up a little bit for you there, is right here, one-on-one, again, on a 4-eye technique. This is a really tough block. This is a challenging situation. The key here is to get on this guy, stay on this guy, and try and get some vertical movement. Let's see how Dawand Jones does. Watch this. Fires off, walks him back, stays on him, allows the running back to work behind him. Really nice play. Again, look where they are. They're at the 5-yard line. They're just trying to get some space here, get out of the shadow of their own end zone. Ends up being about a 6-7 yard run right down to Steelers defense that's doing everything they can to stop the run. Pretty well blocked play across the board. You got the guard, Teller working up to the backside linebacker. One technique gets blocked back. They get on Holcomb, the puller does, the puller, the left guard. Tight end kicks out. Tight end kicks out. Fullback playing tight end, inserts for the safety. Well blocked across the board, but the key block, it all comes down here. Dawand Jones. And again, running game, this would be one question mark. This was kind of his weakness in a lot of ways and when he filled in against the Cincinnati Bengals, but not here. Just gets on him, drives him up the field, and stays on him, opens up a nice seam for Nick Chubb. And again, I want to highlight this movement here. So where contact is made, you can see where their defender's feet is right there, right about the 6-yard line. Look how far he gets walked back, right? All the way almost to between the 8 and 9. That's 2 or 3 yards of vertical movement. That is outstanding for a one-on-one block. You just don't get that in the NFL. And if you don't believe me, look at these other one-on-one blocks. Where are these guys? They're still at the 5 and 6, right? No movement there. These aren't bad blocks, but this isn't a lot of movement. Look at Dawand Jones getting the movement at the point of attack and staying on him, allowing Nick Chubb to cut behind him for a really nice run. Dawand Jones, we already knew, or we already expected him to be a quality pass protector. He proved it against TJ Watt and continued to prove it all night long. But I think his run block and what he did in the running game was the thing that really impressed me against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think is a great sign for the Browns going forward.
And one thing I noticed as this game's gone on, Nick, and you alluded to this earlier, is it does look like everyone's starting, Jones goes out in the beginning. There's a lot of question marks. Now that he's handled himself multiple times against guys like TJ Watt, you see a guy like Teller, he doesn't even think about it. He goes straight past Jones. He knows he's going to pick up his block, and he does what he's supposed to do here against the linebacker, gets him on the ground, gets a good play there. So I think what you said earlier is absolutely true when you say these guys are going to get more comfortable, more cohesive now that they can trust a guy like Jones, see what he does against the big dogs, and this is going to just be better and better as an offensive line unit.
Oh, no doubt about that. But it's not just the guys up front. Like I said, it's the coaches. You don't call this play and have this assignment for Dawand Jones here unless you have a lot of faith in him. Otherwise, you set it up to go the other way. But again, they have faith in him because of what they've seen so far in the game, what they've seen in practice, and it's rewarded with a really nice play. All right, we're sticking with the ground game here. This time, Jones is on the backside. There he is right there. Once again, I'm going to keep highlighting him, though I don't know how much I really need to because he's a massive dude. The Cleveland Browns are running kind of their standard outside zone scheme to the play side. Everyone's taking the gap to the play side and working up here. Jones' job is to try and cut off or get on Holcomb, number 55, backside linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and either get on him and square him up or drive him that direction so that way Nick Chubb can cut back behind him. Tight end's job is to either try and cut off this defensive end or try and block him and wash him down. Again, we've seen it before in this cut up. Basically, this play, even though it's sort of not designed to do this, how it naturally ends up working is the running back takes this track and then cuts it up this direction, depending on what opens up. Let's see Dawand Jones here, because I tell you what, this was probably the most impressive block he had the entire night. You can watch him right here. So right here, right, he's in a good position to wash him down and open up the cutback. They've got the backside defensive end cut off. Great job by the tight end. They've got bodies on bodies. But watch where the impact is. Again, you can see Holcomb right here. He's situated, and I'll back up to the beginning of the play so that way everyone can see it clearly. He's situated as the B-gap defender between the one technique here, this guy had a shade, a tilt on the center, and this 5 technique, this defensive end outside Dawand Jones. So he's kind of playing the gap between these two guys. And as the play starts, we can see him kind of maintain it, right? That separation is still there. Watch what happens when Jones delivers contact. Look at this, just this massive shift. Look where Holcomb is. He's 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how far away he is away from his gap integrity, but he's completely knocked aside. This is unbelievable stuff. Again, 54 for the Steelers. He is the play side linebacker in this situation. Holcomb's the backside linebacker. When Jones is through, he's 4 yards past the play side linebacker. This is awesome stuff from Dawand Jones. This is physical dominance right here. This is incredible rep. And again, when you have a running back, Nick Chubb, again, it's unfortunate he's banged up. But I tell you what, no matter who's running the ball, whether it's Kareem Hunt, whether it's Ford, whoever it is, right, that movement right there, just blowing the backside linebacker that far will open up a lot of cutback opportunities for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Nick, I think that's what
for Cleveland Browns. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is what you call a good old-fashioned case of 6'1", 240 versus 6'8", 375. It's just a mountain of a man, and I love how he finishes through and picks someone up right at the end. He's not even done blocking. He gets off of that block and just knocks someone right at the very end. I think it's the corner 39 there. Just gets a little bit extra in there, get his violence on the play. This guy is just a mountain. He is just moving people. It's very, very difficult for someone to move these guys with such ease, wouldn't you say, Nick?
It is almost unheard of. We showed it earlier in the cut up when he was one-on-one on defensive end, number 92 for Pittsburgh, him driving him 3 yards off the ball. No other Browns offensive lineman got near that kind of movement. We're seeing the same thing here, right? Other guys get on linebackers or get on defensive linemen, they get a little bit of movement or they at least hold them up for a little bit. You don't see this kind of just basically throwing a guy out the club, right? You don't see that kind of thing happen in the NFL. This is sort of what you see when you look at, high school highlights when there's a 5-star recruit against, a no-star recruit. But you don't see this in professional football, but Dawand Jones can bring it. And I tell you what, he looks like a special player because of it. All right, we're going to end on something a little bit different here. And we talked about throughout this cut up is that obviously the Cleveland Browns going into this matchup had a lot of concerns about how Dawand Jones will handle himself. He answered a lot of those concerns. But I think what I saw from the Cleveland Browns, and I think we'll see it going forward, is almost a change in game plan. So what we're going to have here is basically just an RPO concept. We're going to get a double team right here up to the backside linebacker. We're going to get a double team right here up to that linebacker. He's going to kick out number 51. And again, the run could go this direction with a design probably to cut it up the hash a little bit there. But Deshaun Watson, he's going to read it and potentially throw it out. It looks like an RPO, but I want you to look at this whole forms behind Dawand Jones. And I tell you what, Browns fans, you're going to see a lot, not of RPOs. You're going to see a lot of Rs, a lot of runs with plays like this. Let's check it out. So right there, you see the double teams, you see the kick out. You see right there, Watson's already pulled it, but everyone up front is still playing run for the defense and the offense. Right there, I'm just going to freeze it right there. If this was a handoff, what do you think happens? I mean, that's a 20, 30-yard run, maybe a touchdown, one-on-one to safety. Again, watch this double team. Blows him down, picks up the linebacker perfectly. Again, talk about this movement. It doesn't look like a whole much, but watch Teller. You see how Teller almost falls flat on his face? Right? If anyone's ever pushed an object and it say it got real slippery and the object got away from you very quickly, you almost fall flat on your face. That's basically what happened here. Jones got so much movement on that 3 technique. Again, 3 technique because he's on the outside shoulder of the guard right away that Teller almost fell down. That's how much Ogunjobi for the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 99, got barreled down inside. And then he immediately comes off. And again, just freeze it right there. If this is a handoff, Ogunjobi's not making this play. He's driven inside. You're running right off Dawand Jones's butt right there. He's on the linebacker. 54 has no chance, and it's a huge play. It's an RPO, and Deshaun Watson tries to pull it, or it's a design play action, whatever it is. But I tell you what, after this game, watching this film, Cleveland Browns fans, you're not going to see many RPOs anymore. You're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of big runs, and that's because of what Dawand Jones is doing up front, and that is dominating guys.
Yeah, Nick, and I think this goes back to what we talked about earlier is the trust. Deshaun Watson's going to start to wait a tick because he goes, I've got a big man up front. He blows people up, and we're going to have a ton of holes. So his eyes are going to be looking for run more often, I believe. And I think this just shows this is a Browns team. You shouldn't panic too much because when you have a beast up front blocking, I think you're still going to be able to move the ball on the ground very well. And this is just, once again, Nick, this is unheard of, isn't it?
We talk about a lot of offensive linemen. There's a lot of quality rookies. It's a good year for rookie offensive linemen. But I haven't seen anyone this physically dominant yet this year or other prior years, to be honest. This guy he looks like I know it's a cliche. He is a man among boys right now, which you don't see in the NFL. He is physically dominating while also being a quality pass protector. He's not just a quality fill-in right now, filling in for some injuries. This is a guy who I think is very quickly not just going to be a full-time starter, but he's going to be playing a lot of Pro Bowls with the way he's performing so far.